All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another live training with Ren Lopa. I am the co-founder and CEO of Wolf and Rabbit Ink Salon Marketing. And honestly, you guys, I think our 5-year business anniversary is in like one day or something. So I'm really hyped. I'm so excited and feeling inspired. But I wanted to come here. Hi there. I wanted to, when I was brainstorming ideas for this live training today, I really just wanted to show up and debunk maybe some myths or solve some of your guys' biggest questions and problems when it comes to Instagram right now. As many of you know, I'm sure, Instagram is feeling like it's all over the place, right? It's like every day there's a new announcement. Every other day there's a glitch. Like there's so much happening right now with this platform. And so I've asked you guys to submit your questions. I've also had questions submitted over in the Successful Hairstylists Facebook group. So if you're not in there, jump on over and get in there. It's a great environment and a great place to just come and have a collaborative community. But let's do it. Let's tackle some of our questions when it comes to Instagram. And for those of you who are here with me, I would say go ahead and submit your questions. So as we're in this training, as questions come up, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm happy to talk about them and go over them here. Okay, so right now I think I have 5 questions that we're going to cover today. So let's get started. So the first question that I saw that came in that I wanted to talk about was, what are the best ways to handle heated client conversations over direct message? And I chose this question because I think it is so important. Like, obviously, we're in this digital age. Texting and DMing has become a foundation of having a business and communicating with our clients, and an extension of our ability to show up and give great customer service. So how can we handle these heated conversations over DM in a way that is professional, kind, maintaining integrity, and enforcing our boundaries, right? Like, this is what we're trying to cover. And what I've noticed is, especially in a lot of the hair Facebook groups online, I'm in there with all of you, I see the screenshotted text messages, I see how many of you in these heated conversations, the tendency is to justify. Okay, so that's kind of our first tendency, is to justify our point of view, justify why we made the decision we made, justify so many things. So what happens? The client sends us a text message or a DM, and it's like this long, and then we're sending back this long, okay? And for my audio listeners, what we're sending back is scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. That's how much text we're sending back. So I have a couple of things that I would love for you guys to consider trying in these situations, which is, we don't want to give, the more words you use, the more ammo you give people to use against you, to screenshot and post somewhere else, to take out of context. When we are using all of these words, we're actually almost shooting ourselves in the foot. We're taking a step backwards. So the first thing I want you to try to do is not respond in the moment when you're feeling that defensiveness. Because it's natural to feel defensive. It is natural to just think that people are crazy and be like, oh, they're crazy, forget it. But we need to calm down so that we can show up as our best selves, right? These people have paid us money. We are in service to them. Let's show up as leaders and with a kind heart. So first, we're not going to respond right away. We're going to let that sit there. We want this person who sent this hostile message to marinate on it, okay? So it's not just for us to calm down. It's also for this person to feel awkward. Have any of you guys sent out that text message and then you're like, why did I send that? And when nobody's answering, you start to get nervous, right? You're like, oh my God, they hate me. Oh my God, I said the wrong thing. You go into this whole thing. Let your clients marinate in their own hostility that they're sending to you, okay? And let yourself calm down. So the next thing that I want you to do is, and I said this in another episode, maybe a couple episodes ago, but send more voice memos. Okay, so instead of typing out these long responses filled with, you asked for this, I gave you exactly what you wanted, I told you it wouldn't be like this, now you agreed to it, but now you're saying you don't agree. Okay, instead of going there, what I want you to do is send voice memos. So voice memos are going to help in a number of ways. So first of all, they cannot be screenshot and used against you, right? They can't be screenshot and posted in a review or posted in a local Facebook group, taken out of context and blasting you. So that's the first benefit of it. But the second benefit is that they actually get to hear your tone. You know how like we could get the literal same text message from our best friend and then from somebody that we don't really like, and we would read it totally different, right? Like, oh, what do I want for lunch? And then it's like, what do I want for lunch? Like, what is up with that? So we need to remember that our clients are human. They're feeling really uncomfortable, and they're probably going to read whatever we write in a negative way. So using voice memos is really going to help you handle this in a calmer way. And by the way, I think it's already going to cut back on how many words you're saying, because we aren't going to say all of that. We're not going to talk that fast and do that. So this is really going to protect you in a lot of ways. Okay, so voice memos and taking a beat before replying and using your tone and simplifying your message is how I would be recommending that you start handling heated conversations over DM. One of the favorite phrases that I found works really well for me in these situations is just to remind your client, we're in this together, we co-created this vision, and yeah, I'm holding you maybe to a higher standard than stylists have before. Maybe stylists just gave you a refund before. Maybe you just got a redo because what you agreed to, now you're changing your mind. I'm holding us to a higher standard because I actually care about the long-term vision of your hair. I know that's different, but that's what we agreed to. So I'm not going to let you continue in this way. So reminding them that you're on the same team and everything like that is really important. So that is our first question that came in. Okay, so now shifting to the second question that came in. I keep hearing about a Reels play bonus, or I see people that are getting paid for their Reels, but I can't find a lot of info about it, and I just want, like, what is that about? So Instagram is now doing, I think TikTok does this too, but Instagram is now offering little bonuses for creating Reels. And my belief is that they will be rolling this out pretty much to everybody. So as long as you've had 1,000 views on Reels in the past 30 days, which as we all know, that's not even a lot, right? Most of you probably qualify. So if you've had at least 1,000 views in the last 30 days, you're going to be eligible for this. And what Instagram is doing is just based on views. They're going to pay you money, whether it's 25 cents or $100. So basically over a month, how many views will be a payout bonus to you. And what I think is really cool about this is that it's almost like rewarding us for doing what we need to do anyway, right? Like I personally was invited to the Reels bonus play, and I felt like once I got into that and I saw that even a little bit of money was stacking up over time, it did keep me inspired to continue to show up for all of you, even on those days where we might not feel like it, we might not want to. It just helps to keep us motivated. So as far as what it is, Instagram is really rewarding their creators for being on their platform and showing up and continuing to create things. I have been in it for 2 weeks. I have had 30,000 Reels views over 2 weeks, and I believe my total is at like $107, okay? So it's not a ton of money. Like, I think in order to hit $1,200 a month from Instagram, you have to get 11 million views in total of all the Reels you posted for that month. So for most of us, we'll probably make $100 or something, but hey, that is still money. So be on the lookout for seeing that pop up. And how that's gonna work is you'll just log into Instagram one day, you'll get a notification that looks like a little gift box, and they'll let you know how to take the next steps to get that all signed up. But Instagram is really trying hard to reward people who are showing up and making content. So even in Reels, you can see, I don't have it yet, but there's like now a stars bonus, or in live stream, sorry. There's now a stars bonus where people who are watching your live stream can send you tips and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for more ways to monetize. What I would think is, I would still rather you focus more on Reels that are going to get you clients and content that is going to get you booked in your salon, versus Reels that are going to go viral and maybe get you $100 from Instagram, okay? So this is a true bonus. We're not going to show up just for this money, because you're going to make way more behind the chair than that. Okay, so now we'll move on to our next question. So this person says, I'm feeling super frustrated with trying to use Instagram to grow my books. I'm tagging local businesses and places in the area. I use local hashtags. My clients repost their hair pictures. I utilize Reels, and I still just feel like it's impossible to get any traction on Instagram lately. And it's so stressful trying to keep up with what works and what doesn't. So I have no doubt that many of you listening to this are feeling the same way. I feel like maybe 5 years ago, it was like people weren't really trying things, but now I feel like we all are showing up with a strategy, right? Like even those of you who don't know a lot about Instagram, I'm sure you've looked up techniques to try and methods to use, and you are showing up with intention and a plan, and you're really trying. And so that is frustrating. That's super frustrating. So what I would remind all of you of is that, yes, it takes time. And also, what it really takes is our least favorite word, which is consistency, okay? Like, we all hate it. It's annoying to all of us, but it takes consistency. So, my content actually, I don't know if you guys noticed, I'm sure you didn't, but my Reels were doing pretty well. Like, okay, like 2,000, 3,000 views a Reel. And then out of nowhere, it just dropped down to like 300, 400 views, okay? And my content, same thing, like likes and engagement went down, story views went down, all this stuff. I even had people messaging me and being like, what's up with your content? Why is it not, doing its normal thing? Like, whatever, which feels discouraging, right? In the moment, you're like, oh my God, what's happening? But what I chose to do is just stay consistent. I know I have a strategy. I know I'm showing up with amazing info for all of you that follow me. So I'm not really stressed about the metrics. I'm not really stressed about, is it gaining traction or not gaining traction? I'm just focused on the big picture strategy of what I'm doing, okay? So even if that week of posting a Reel every day didn't bring us 1 million views like usual, I know next week when people come and see, they'll see all the content that I made. So nothing is a waste, and we just have to stay steady. So 2 weeks after that dip in my views, when I could have said, forget it, right? This isn't working, I'm over it, like whatever. I was invited to the Reels Play bonus, right? And then now my videos were up to 8,000, 9,000. So what I want you guys to understand is that social media is gonna go in waves, and we kind of just have to ride the wave and trust our strategy. And like I always recommend, show up with that leader heart, right? That servant heart for your clients. If you're showing up and giving it your all for your clients, it's going to pay off over time. So I don't want you to be stressing too much about seeing the traction. What I will say though, and what a lot of people learn in my program, the Luxury Client Method, is that posting and, even having your clients post or something like that, using hashtags, which is part of posting, creating Reels, which is, posting, all of that is one piece of a whole method of growing an Instagram account or growing your business with high-end clients using Instagram, right? So if you are showing up and you're kind of posting, you're creating, but you're not seeing traction, I would want to assure you that that's totally normal. So I wouldn't expect people who are posting and posting alone is their strategy to see a ton of traction. There are other things that we need to be doing in order to attract the people to our page, in order to turn them into clients and everything like that. So stay consistent, stay focused on your strategy, and, keep going is what I would say. Okay, so here's our next question. I'm a new stylist and I'm really trying hard to promote myself and get my name out there, and I'm struggling. A few other girls at my salon have started and they're new as well, so we're all competing for the walk-ins, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get more people in my chair through appointments so I don't have to rely on someone walking in when that could possibly get taken from me and given to another stylist in the salon. I've tried TikToks, Facebook, Instagram, passing out cards to people, and leaving cards on cars. I know it takes time, but does anyone here have any advice? Okay, so for this question, I think, first of all, it's amazing, like the work ethic here, right? Like TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, passing out cards, leaving cards on cars. Like, this is a lot of effort. Hey, nice to see you here. So this is a lot of effort that this person is putting out. And so again, that comes with a lot of disappointment when it doesn't pan out, right? Like, the harder we work, when the results aren't there, it's like a punch in the gut. So what I would say here is your intuition is right, that you need to find a way to build your own stream of clients versus relying on the salon or the marketing of the plaza or foot traffic to deliver something to you, right? It is always good to be empowered and create your own way to ensure that you have the right clients coming in, and no matter what is happening with everyone else, you're gonna be good, you're gonna be set. And so what I want you to think about too is sometimes we spread ourselves like way too thin. Okay, so my advice to this new stylist would be to choose kind of one platform and put all of your focus into that one platform. And so instead of TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and all of that, and then even the foot traffic, I would really try to commit to one thing, learn as much as you can about it, and then pour all of your heart into that. Because when we're moving in 5 different directions, of course, we're gonna make little baby progress in 5 directions, where if we put all our energy into one, we're gonna get much further. So I hope that helps. And by the way, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram all have slightly different demographics, slightly different strategies. So we wanna make sure that we're not using one strategy for everything. That's why it's good to go all in on one, because then you know that you can really, really make it work and make it count. All right, so we have 2 more questions here. I keep hearing about getting clients in stories, but I have 1,000 followers and I only get 20 views. Any tips on reaching more people in stories? So stories are complicated, right? I know no matter how many followers you have, sometimes it is just nobody's watching and then everybody's watching. The story that I posted yesterday where I just wrote text on a still photo of me, that got a ton of views, where things that I think are even more valuable sometimes don't get seen as much. So when it comes to stories though, there are a couple of tips that you can kind of follow and try. But the main one I would say is, how good are you at engaging with other people's stories? So that's kind of the first thing is are you out there watching people's stories, sending them messages? Are you engaging with people actively on your profile? So what I've noticed in my experience working with stylists is that once they actually start building better relationships with their audience, and specifically not with other stylists, but with the local women in their audience, and engaging with them, then their engagement goes up all around. So that would be stories and on their profile. So I would make sure that you're spending time engaging in order to see that kind of start coming back to you. And that is based on even the algorithm, which is people who they see we like each other's posts, they see that we're in each other's inboxes and we're engaging with each other a lot, they're going to give our stories priority on the top of their profile when they log in, okay? So that's not just like, it's good karma, like that's really how the algorithm works. So the more that you can be out there engaging with the local people who follow your profile, the better your engagement all around is gonna be. And then the second tip that I would have for you to increase story views would just be, a good rule of thumb is to post a poll as your first story of the day. So let's say you've been getting super low views. I would say take 24 full hours off. Then your first story should be a poll. And I want you to make it as specific as possible. I find that a lot of people don't get engagement on their polls when they're so vague. So like the more specific, the better. One of the ones that did super well for me was like, do you prefer to make your coffee at home or get coffee from a coffee shop, right? Has nothing to do with what I teach. However, it gets everybody sharing their opinion and just engaging with you. So when that is your first story of the day, Instagram says, hey, people are loving what this person's posting. I'm going to prioritize their stories at the top of everybody's feed. So those are a couple tips for you for stories. Okay, so now we have the very last question, and here it is. I'm wanting to do more shortcuts, and I'm thinking of doing a model call. How would you guys advertise for doing that for just haircuts? Big transformations would be okay, but I'm really just wanting to put more short looks into my portfolio. So first of all, I just want to shout out all of my amazing hair designers and my stylists who like really love hair cutting. I think that this is so important because right now our industry is just in this weird place where it feels like you need to be a balayage and extension specialist in order to make money, but it's not true. If you want to specialize in haircuts, if you want to do more hair cutting and all of that, you can still be super successful. So there is no like one size fits all direction. They each are gonna have their pros and cons. So let's say you want to attract services that you currently don't have a lot of images for. Okay, sorry about that. Instagram told me I was on my app too long. Okay, so let's say you're a stylist and you want to start doing a service that you don't currently have the imagery for. And so you want to build up your portfolio and you want to kind of build up your own skills, right? Like this is something I really want to fine tune so that then I can attract more and more. So the first thing that I really love about this question in particular is that this stylist intuition is right on in terms of what I post and the images that I post on my Instagram is what I'm going to attract. So if I want to get more specialty haircuts, more short haircuts, then I need to have a portfolio of that so that then I can be calling that in. I always say like Instagram is like a dream board or a like manifesting tool because what we put out is what we call into us. So if this is the situation that you're in, I think that there's a couple things that you could do. So first, you can go into your local Facebook groups and invite people to come in. And so what this might look like is posting a few short haircuts, and you can make sure to say, not my work, right? So let's say you just found like all of these different looks that you really want to be doing more of, and you put them in this post, you say, not my work, but I am looking for clients who are interested in this kind of style. I have a special going on right now. Comment me for more information or something, okay? So local Facebook groups can be a great place to get that word out. Now for your profile, if you want to start posting those hair photos, I think you can do the same thing, especially in your stories. So you would make sure you're engaging. You would make sure your first story of the day is the poll, just like we said, right? Then you could go into, again, posting some of those short hair photos that are not your work and just saying, not my work, but I'm itching to do this. Who is ready for it, right? If you are going to do a model call, then you can say calling models. This is what I'm looking for. DM me for information. So this is how we can start doing that. And as long as you're saying, not my photo, and that's what you're interested in doing, I think that you'll be fine with that. I also think that specialty haircutting is such a underutilized opportunity in our industry. It has always felt like it's just always felt like to me, even in hair school, haircutting was like an afterthought. And I was just talking with my dear friend Siobhan about this, where haircutting has just always felt like an afterthought. The real magic is the color, the extensions, the haircut is added on at the end, yeah, whatever. So for those of you who do really love haircutting, do want to specialize in that, I do think that there's a market for that. And I just want you to know that that is okay and follow your passion. So I hope that this Q&A has been super helpful for you guys. If you want me to do more trainings like this, go ahead and comment, let me know, or send me a DM. And by the way, tonight, doors are closing for Luxury Client Method. This is actually going to be the last time that you're able to get into this program as a live group coaching program. So now's the chance. Definitely send me a message so that I can share all those details with you. And otherwise, I will see you all very soon. Have a great day.